Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. How's everybody doing? So it's that time of the week again, time for football picks, predictions, discussions, hot takes, hot air, all that stuff. So basically every season since 2016, excuse me, so this is the third season. Since then, basically every week I go through all the football games that are going on that week, talk about them, recap, last week, tell you what I think. We basically just talk sports for like 15 minutes or however long these videos usually are. So really, I forgot last year and somebody reminded me, so I did it again. Now I just kind of do it. So I kind of go through, like I said, all the games and just kind of talk about them and stuff like that. Generally, I'm pretty accurate with this. I probably, just consume probably too much sports. I mean, I got the NFL satellite radio, like the Sirius XM thing in the car. I got the NFL network, the ESPN, the local thing, the K, I got the whole thing. Just too much sports. It's all the time. I got matter of fact, in a lot of my videos, like you'll hear on my phone, like the ESPN ding, notification will go off. Just too plugged into football. So generally, I tend to think I kind of know about this stuff for the most part. But anyways, what can I say? So we'll kind of go through the games here and see what we got here. Make some predictions, talk about what's going on. First thing I wanted to do, because it's week 9. I can't believe it's already week 9. It's really kind of blowing by. It does every year, but it's kind of sad. But it's going past us here. This season, it's already week 9, and I kind of wanted to go through like the just like if the playoffs started today, like who would be in and who would be out, because there's a lot of surprises with this. So in the AFC, obviously, you get the Chiefs and the Patriots as the first and second seed, respectively, and then from there on down to 6, which is the last seed to make the playoffs. You've got the Steelers, the Texans, the Chargers, and the Bengals in that order if the playoffs were to start today. Which is surprising because that means that the Ravens and the Jaguars are not in. So the Jaguars, they had a great season last season. Strong defense, strong team defense, just strong team overall. Gave the Patriots a run for their money in the AFC Championship game. They started strong this year, and I think they beat the Patriots in I think it was like week 2. And then from there on out, they just totally fizzled out, totally fell apart on that team. They're 3-5. They're probably not doing much of anything. Because if the Colts and Jets are also 3-5, if you're in the category, the same category with the Colts and the Jets, you're probably not really going anywhere. So they're not in. You'd think they'd be in. The Bengals. They're clinging on to the 6th seed. So that's what can you say about that? I don't really I think like in the long run, I think the Ravens will get in and the Bengals will get knocked off just because of. I just think that those are the better and worse teams there. But in the NFC, there's really a lot more surprises because you've got obviously first from the 1st seed to the 6th seed in that order. If the playoffs were to start today, you've got the Rams, the Saints, the Redskins, the Bears, the Panthers, and the Seahawks. So the Bears being in the playoffs and not only the Redskins being in the playoffs, but being the 3rd seed. Holy smokes! Like that's. The Redskins, if there was ever a team in the NFL that people don't pay attention to for whatever reason, it's really the Redskins. Like, nobody... I don't know. It's kind of like there's other teams that were like that, like the Titans, for a while, or, until they kind of showed you something last year were like that. Maybe the Lions a little bit, the Buccaneers before the Jameis Winston, that whole thing. They're just kind of like those teams that, you don't talk about, or you don't hear about, or they're just not... I don't know. They're really just kind of, they kind of fly under the radar for some reason. They just don't get a lot of coverage. The Redskins are absolutely that team. Like for whatever you don't even know. Like name 5 players on the Redskins. Like I know, John Gruden's brother Jay Gruden's the coach. Alex Smith's the quarterback. But when you start trying to nobody talks about that team. But they're the 3rd seed in the NFC, which is incredible. And also the Bears are in there as the 4th seed. So it's kind of surprising because what that means is that what's more surprising is that means that the Vikings, the Packers, the Eagles, the Falcons are all not in the playoffs, which is kind of like all the teams that are all playoff down for the Falcons in the playoffs. I'm not sure. Like the teams that were all very recently, teams that made deep playoff runs are all suck. So that's. There you go. But it's just kind of surprising, but that's where we're at right now. Anyway, so for this week, week 9, oh God, the first game, Thursday night game, Oakland Raiders, San Francisco 49. Like, people talk about how the Thursday night games are bad. Because, like, the Sunday night games, they always put their marquee matchups primetime Sunday night because most people are watching then. And those schedules are made, you know, in April when, you know, your knowledge of what teams are good and bad is based on, like, how they were, you know, most recently, so, like, the last season. And, of course, when the new season starts, you don't, you know, like, teams that you thought were good or bad and teams that you thought, you know, were bad or good. And it's just kind of all... It's all over the place, so, you know, that's why they flex games on Sunday night. But for some reason, they don't flex the Thursday night. Like, if you wanted to make them not suck, you could do it. But it's really like, you know, you see how they try to make Sunday night good? It's almost like as if they try to make Thursday night awful. Like the 1-6 Oakland Raiders and the 1-7 San Francisco 49ers. Oh, boy. Like, that's, I mean, come on. Like, The Browns are like the Browns right now are 2-5-1. Like that would marginally be better than this disaster. All right, so, geez, I don't know how. I don't know. I got like it's a tie, 2-2. Like they both get safeties because they suck. Like I don't know what to tell. I don't know. Give me the Raiders in this game. Next game up: Steelers, Ravens, Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Steelers are 4-2-1. Ravens are 4-4. You know, like I said, the Ravens are the 7th seed. They're just outside the playoffs. I feel like that should be a playoff team. I mean, it's a good team, you know, between Harbaugh and just the Flacco and just that gunslinging, tough, gritty Baltimore thing. I've just always been a fan of that. I mean, that's definitely a team that could give any other playoff team in the AFC a run for their money. I really think that. You know, Pittsburgh, on the other hand, it seems like they've largely overcome the Le'Veon Bell drama. But that's a team that's just... That team runs on drama. Whether it's Le'Veon Bell, really Le'Veon Bell at any time. Antonio Brown, Facebook Live a couple of years ago. Like, just that whole team, the drama, just their head. They're never right in the head on that team. It's all talent and no, you know, just not a whole lot going on between the ears with that team. And that's why they don't win anything ever. That's why they never beat the Patriots, is because I don't think they beat the Patriots since like 2005 or something, and they play almost every year and sometimes twice because of the playoffs or whatever. It's because the Patriots, they're mentally they're sharp and they focus and they you know, and the Steelers on the other hand, it's just all drama and divas. Like that's the difference, all right? It's not very complicated. But I feel like the Ravens are a tough, gritty team that, you know, because they're 4-4, they're 7th seed, they can't lose any more games if they have, you know, any shot at a playoff run here. Because, I mean, the 6th seed's 5-3. I mean, so it's you know, they got to make something happen here. I feel like this is a team that could win. I got the Ravens winning this game. Next game up, Bears, Bills. The Bills suck. The Bears are 4-3, 4th seed. Who would have foresaw that? Yeah, I got the Bears winning this game. Next game, also Sunday, 1 o'clock, Tampa Bay, Carolina. Carolina's 5-2. Tampa Bay's 3-4, and they're awful. You know, Ryan Fitzpatrick, just what a flash in the pan with them. That's just another team that's just not going anywhere. I got the Panthers winning this game. Next, matter of fact, did the Panthers lose last week? I know that was who did they play? They played the Ravens last. All right, yeah, they did win. Okay, yeah, so that's, yeah, I got the Panthers winning this game. Next game up, the Cleveland Browns in the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the, I mean, come on, the Chiefs. Next game up, oh god, the Dolphins and the Jets. Give me the Dolphins, I guess. Oh, these games are so bad. The Lions and the Vikings. I got the. So what have the Lions been up to? It's kind of like a trajectory thing. Like, what have they done as of late? Like, we know that they beat the Patriots, which people talked about there, you know, early in the season. You know, Matt Patricia, former Patriots assistant coach, you know, kind of knew what to do. And, you know, most recently, the Seahawks beat them 28-14. They beat the Dolphins 32-21. Week before that, they beat the Packers 31-23. All right, it's a team that's got some kind of clue. I would say so. Yeah, it's the I mean, I feel like the Vikings are outside of the playoffs. They gotta do something here. I got the Vikings winning this game. Close game, NFC North. You know, grudge match here. I got the Vikings. Next game up, Redskins, Falcons. Falcons are 3-4. Redskins 5-2. Yeah, give me the Redskins. I haven't watched enough Redskins because they barely even put it on. Like, that's rarely ever a national game. Like, other than like the one Sunday, other than like I think like Thanksgiving they'll play, and then like a Thursday night game, which actually I guess could be Thanksgiving, and then their Monday night game. It's really not nobody really knows what goes on that team. So I'll go with the record here. I'll go with the Redskins winning this game. Next game up, Texans Broncos. This is in Denver. You know, I'm torn on the Texans. You know, they lost to Deshaun Watson last year. They turned to crap. They come out this year looking like crap, and they've turned it around since then. Denver, on the other hand, no offense, just miserable. Like the last couple of years here. So I'm gonna give this to the Texans just because it seems like they've been on a roll. I mean, like recently, with the Texans, you kind of, like I said, you have to look at the trajectory. They beat the Dolphins 42-23. Offense we know they have a tough defense. Offense has been a problem on the team, so to put up 42, 42 is 42. Beat the Jaguars 20-7, the Bills 20-13, the Cowboys 19-16, the Colts. So they've won 5 in a row here. Yeah, they should be able to beat Denver. Next game up, Chargers Seahawks. This is a tough one. So the Seahawks are a team that they just. It's not so much a gritty team. It's just like that's another team that, like the Patriots, they're just right in the head. You know what I mean? Like they're a well coached, team. Russell Wilson, he is kind of running the whole show there. Earl Thomas flipping them off. So there's problems in that team. But just mentally, for the most part, that's a team that can hang in there and go the distance and grind it out. The Chargers, on the other hand, I've been high on the Chargers for a while. I mean, people sleep on the Chargers because they lose these close games. They're 5-2. I think this is their year. They won in the Super Bowl, no, but I just think that they're a playoff team. Like, for instance, if the playoffs started today, I believe you'd have it would be like the Chargers would play the Texans. The Texans are 5-3. Chargers had a bye week, so they're 5-2. And then if they win that, then they're in the AFC divisional game, where they would play. Assuming that the Steelers would beat the Bengals, I believe that they would they play the Chiefs, and then the Steelers would play the. I mean, that might be the end there. But it's a team that has it's going places. But I think it's in Seattle. It's loud. Yeah, I think Seattle's probably going to win this game in a close game. That's usually the Chargers are experts at losing close games. It seems like this is probably going to be one of them. Next game up. If not for the next game, this would be the game of the week. Right? This would be the game that would be shown on Madden, or we're playing on Madden, the video. The next one's we've kind of been waiting like 10 years for this next one. So actually, I don't think we'll get to that one. LA Rams, New Orleans Saints. The LA Rams, of course, 8-0, undefeated so far. But the Saints this week, 6-1, as they've had a bye week. This is a tough one because the Rams came within one fumble of losing to the Packers last week. The Packers, who I'll get to the Packers. I was glued to that game. The Packers played the Rams on Sunday at 4:25, something like that, Eastern time. And they're down by, I think it was down by 2 with 2 minutes to go. Packers are going to get the ball back, take the time off the clock, come down the field, either kick a field goal, get a touchdown, whatever, and win the game. Give it to Aaron Rodgers. That's what was going to happen. Friggin' idiot kick returner. First of all, if you're in that situation, the ball he takes the ball in the end zone here. Let me just see if I can pull this. Well, I can't. I guess I can't show it in the video. But basically, Ty Montgomery, who it's come out that they were, he was told to just don't return the ball, just let it go out of the end zone. Fair catch, whatever. Don't take it out. Takes it out, fumbles the ball, and then they lose. If he just didn't catch it and let it go out of the end zone or let it land in the end zone, fair catch or whatever, didn't return it, they would have won the game, and the Rams would be 7-1. But friggin' idiot, Ty Montgomery, who was traded or cut or whatever yesterday at the trade deadline. So that's annoying. It was frustrating watching that because you could see it all coming together. Aaron Rodgers, he's down late, one more possession, comes down the field, slinging Hail Mary. You can set your watch to that. That's what's supposed to happen in that spot. And the idiot fumbled it, and obviously it did not. So Rams and Saints. Saints are another high. I mean, this is like, I feel like whoever wins this game is going to win like 78-71. Like, there's no defense on either of his teams. It's all offense. I feel like the Rams, like, you kind of saw like the crack in the wall last week against the Packers, and the Packers are not nearly as much of a high flying team as the New Orleans Saints. I mean, it's not like night and day, but they're not as good as the Packers are not as good as the Saints. So if the Packers came within 2 minutes of beating the Saints, beating the Rams, I feel like the Saints can do it this week. Just, and the overall trajectory thing. Like, if you're starting to slow down. Like, if you think about like the last team, because people are saying this team could go undefeated. The last team that actually did go undefeated until the Super Bowl, obviously the 2007 Patriots. If you think, well, if you know about as much about football as I do, and you know about the 2007 Patriots, kind of what happened with them is they came out just blowing everybody away, like 40 points every week, at least, 40, 50 points. But then what happened was they started getting undefeated, teams started getting tired of them, and then teams just started throwing everything that they had at them. Even teams that were like out of the playoffs, just to try to get them to not be undefeated. And it took a toll on them, physically. And it feels like there's a Rams team. It's starting to it's hard to win 16 consecutive games. That's why nobody, well, I guess the Patriots did it. But, well, fine, let's say 19 games. Nobody's ever done that. So it just kind of shows you it starts to get hard, and it seems like it's starting to kind of slow down there. So I got because it seems like the Rams are uniquely built to put this one away. I got did I say the Rams? I'm sorry, I meant the Saints. The Saints. I got the Saints, but it's gonna be like 41-38 or like something like that. I feel like. Next game up, game of the week right here. This game right here, it's gonna be Green Bay Packers at New England Patriots. Do you know that? So Aaron Rodgers has been in the league since what, like 2008 or 2005? Aaron, let me just check. It's either 2008 or 2005. Let's just check this out real quick. 2005. 2005. Do you know that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers they've never played? They've never since 2000. Actually, no, I take that back. They played in Green Bay 4 years ago. But outside of that, Aaron Rodgers has never played in New England. Isn't that freaking unbelievable? 13 or was it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 14 years. 14 years. The Packers, or Aaron Rodgers at least, has never played Tom Brady in New England. How? How is this possible? Like, the two most talented, unbelievable quarterbacks of all time. He's never played, and how? How has that never happened? The way it's happened is, so they're in different conferences. So if you're in a different conference, you play, outside of the Super Bowl, obviously, you play any given team in the other conference once every 4 years. You'll play at their stadium once every 8 years. So 8 years ago, 2010. Aaron Rodgers was injured, so that did not happen. And then 8 years before, it was 2002. God, ours is 16 years ago. Was the last time that could have happened, which of course is before Aaron Rodgers was even in the league. So I think the league, forget this game, forget all this stuff. The league needs to address, like, that can't be a thing, right? Like, I think that the league, like the playoff format, I think they do a great job with that. But like, this thing sucks. I mean, you need to be able to get, like, this is the reason why you got bad Thursday night games, just too many bad matchups, is because your scheduling format, while it's pretty good, like the fact you have to wait 14 years to see Aaron Rodgers go play Tom Brady, like that's why, because you have this restrictive schedule that, kind of prevents these games from being able to happen. Like, the way I think you should do it, this is what I think you should do. Like, some people, a lot of people have talked about this, especially like now and recently, now that this game's finally coming up. People are kind of talking about how, the league kind of needs to address this. I think you could do probably one of two things. One, you could do say you're in the, I don't know, the AFC South. So you'll play a whole division in the AFC. You'll play everybody in your division twice. So that's 6 and 4 is 10. You'll play one NFC division that's 14, and then you'll play the same ranked team in the 2 other divisions in your conference as to how you were last year in during the year. Basically, is how it works. So what that means is you'll play one NFC division every year, which means that it takes 4 years to play all of them in every other 4 years. Like say, like 2014 they'd play in Green Bay. In the case of the Patriots, 2014 they play in Green Bay. 2018 they play in New England. So from 2010 to 2008, so every 8 years you'll play at one or the other place in the other conference once. It takes or twice, once or twice in 8 years. Or actually no, just once. Actually, I'm sorry. So like that's a disaster. Like that's how it works. So I think what you could do is wait. Wait it the same way as the same teams in other divisions that you play in your conference. Like say the Packers finished in first place and you're the Patriots and you finished in first place in your division. Well, then instead of playing like the NFC, whoever they're playing, the North or whatever, well, you play like the top ranked seed in the NFC North, the top ranked seed in the NFC West. So like this way you kind of get these matchups that are kind of more your speed. The problem with that, and I don't agree with that strategy, because the problem with that is that if you thought there were some matchups you never got before, there's some matchups you really would never get now, because then that would mean, because there's some teams that are always kind of finished with the same spot in their division. Like the Patriots always finish the first spot in the AFC East, which means that a team that never finishes at first place in their division, like a team, I don't know, like a team like okay, like the Cowboys, all right, so not that the Cowboys are anything special, or I guess I shouldn't say that. They're not. But a team like that Cowboys Patriots. I mean, that's a kind of a big game. That's something people are going to want to see. Want to talk about. You would never get that. You would just never get it unless somehow the Cowboys finished in first place or the Patriots finished in third, which wouldn't happen, given how bad the AFC East is outside of New England. But the games like that, you would go like 15 years and you would just never get it at all. Never mind what stadium. So I don't think that would work. I think the better way to fix that problem would be to... You'd actually be fixing 2 problems at the same time. And the way you do it is... People complain about the preseason. Players complain about it. It's just they don't try. It's just sending out these retreads, these dregs of the league that are going to get cut. People, and then like the third game, like when the starters will go for a good portion of that game. Sometimes players get hurt. It's just like, why? Why do we need to do this? So people complain about that. And people have talked about cutting it down to 2 games and then extending the regular season to 18. What I think you could do is this. This is how you could fix the problem. What you could do is, I wouldn't get rid of the regular season, because you need like a couple games just to try some stuff out. Like off the record and just kind of like practice, right? Just to test stuff out. So you do need that. You don't need 4 games of that, and only one of them you have starters really playing in. So what I would do is I would cut that back to 2 games, right? So I'd cut it back to 2 games, and then I'd make this, and I would move forward the start of the preseason to like 2 weeks later. So like basically instead of starting like beginning of August, it would start like 2 weeks into August, and then the Super Bowl would happen 2 weeks later in February, right? So which is good, because February and March, those are the dregs of the calendar. It's the worst 2 months of the year. The weather's bad, baseball hasn't started, football's over. There's nothing going on. There's no holidays, just nothing. There's nothing going on then. So you could kind of fix that problem. Then you'd cut down 2 games in the regular season, and you'd make the second the 2 games of the preseason, I'm sorry. You'd make the second 2 games regular season games, and then you would add 2 games to the schedule. Then what you could do is, instead of playing every team in your division twice, which you really don't need to do outside of like the rivalries, like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or like Packers, Bears, like just some of those. Okay, you want to see that, but like I don't need to see like this last Monday night Patriots Bills. We don't need to get like 40 versions of that. We get it. The Bills suck. We don't need to see that in prime time on Monday night or like let alone twice. You know what I mean? So you get it. They're in the division, so you're gonna play them every year. You don't need to play them twice. So you stop that practice. Now you free up, well, I guess you free up actually 3 games, you know, like the second time around. Then there's the 2 from the 2 preseason games returning into regular season games. Now you have an 18, so you have a longer regular season. The league makes more money. You cut down on the preseason that the players don't like. And now you've freed up 5 games to be able to play. You could play a second NFC or AFC, like an interconference division if you wanted to. Like that, I think that's a good way to do that. But you know, who knows? So there's that. But you know, I'm kind of rambling on. So, anyways, it's been a long time since we've got this game. So the last time these 2 teams played, the Packers and the Patriots, really the 2 quarterbacks. That's kind of what we care about. Brady and Rodgers was 2014 in Green Bay. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Green Bay like barely won that game. It was like a close win for Green Bay, close loss for New England. But we've been waiting forever for this matchup. Like the last few years, these have been the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, like doing unbelievable stuff, and they never face each other. It's like we don't, you know, I'm not gonna relitigate all that, but it's yeah, it's just unbelievable that we don't get this matchup more. This is a tremendous matchup. I've waited a long, long time to see it. Everybody has. It's great. What do I think's gonna happen? So, last week, the Packers barely lost, only because of a fumble, to the Rams. The Patriots, in a sloppy, messy, just debacle of a game, they beat the Bills. They did what they had to do. The offense looked bad. Patriots' offense looked bad. The Bills, I mean, we're not going to talk about the Bills because they're not in this game, and that's kind of goes without saying what happened with them. The Patriots' offense in that game, Monday night, you know, the 7 points was the defense. Was a pick 6 by one of the players on New England's defense. So that means, and they scored 25 points. So you take the 25 away, that's like 18 offensive points. 3 of them were field goals. So I think, what was that, like 1 touchdown? I think it was even a rushing touchdown or something like that. You know, so their offense did not do a good job. I think Brady didn't have it. Just, I don't know. Like, I didn't really study that one too much, but it just kind of seemed like, from what I could see, that like, it just seems like New England's receivers weren't running the right routes, and then combined with the Bills' pass rush, that threw them off. And so the Packers' defense, you know, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but, you know, they could kind of do a similar thing there. This one's at home. It's a big game. Like, a lot of times you'll notice with good teams, or like especially with the Patriots, like they'll, like sometimes maybe they'll lose, or they won't play as good the week before a big game, and that's kind of because they'll write off the upcoming game to focus on the big game. That's like they'll kind of look past the team to the next game and just kind of do the bare minimum to get out of there with the win. And a lot of times you'll see that. So that could have been it. But the Packers offense, you know, like if you asked me a year ago, I would have told you that the Packers offense is probably the best in the NFL. The best in the NFL at giving the Patriots a run for their money. Because Aaron Rodgers, you know, rolling left, running right, just all that stuff he does. Well, first of all, it gives any defense a problem, but New England's defense has problems with those gadgety, shifty, rollout, run around, reversal, RPO type. They can't, you know, as we saw in the Super Bowl, they just can't defend that stuff. So, you know, so I would have told you that the Packers, if any team could do it, was the Packers. As we come to find out, the Chiefs, the Eagles, those teams were actually... Because those teams are actually, they don't do the same thing the Packers do. Like, they actually do, like, more traditional RPO stuff. Whereas the Packers, on the other hand, it's really just Aaron Rodgers runs around and he buys time, and he's a great athlete, and he can just basically take all day of dodging and juking guys to, you know, somebody eventually gets open, and he completes the pass. And then the Hail Marys and just the magic, the plays this guy pulls out of his keister. That's, you know, really what the Packers can do. And, you know, but more specifically, like the Chiefs and the Eagles, you know, like with the RPOs and like it was kind of a more intricate, more nuanced, more intense version of kind of what the Packers do, which the Chiefs did a few weeks ago when they actually lost to New England. So it seems like New England knows now, like, because like if this was a year ago, I would have given this game to the Packers. But because like the Patriots have been, you know, shellacked. They've been exposed against that type of offense several times in the last couple of years, and they finally saw it coming against the Chiefs and had said, hey, we need to get better at defending this type of thing, and they did it, and they beat the Chiefs. I feel like now they're ready for what Aaron Rodgers does, and Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he does it as well as, you know, as well as like the Chiefs and Eagles can do that, even though like what he does is unique. It's in New England, it's prime time. I cannot freaking wait to see this game. Like, oh my God, I've been waiting 14 years to see this one. Everybody has. Aaron Rodgers and Tom, it's amazing. They haven't been on the same field in 4 years. That was in Green Bay. This is in New England. This is awesome. This is like the freaking Super Bowl almost. I mean, this is like if you had, what's another sport you give an example? This is like if I don't know, like if LeBron, like say this is like if you took like the 1990s you know, U.S. men's Olympic basketball team, 1992 Dream Team, and then got like made like a current Dream Team like LeBron and just like Steph Curry, like the whole thing, right? And you could somehow have them play each other. Like that's almost what this is. Not quite. That's a stretch. It's a little bit much. But it's almost like it's like the matchup you'd love to see but never get to see. So there's that. The Packers, you know, I just feel like they're kind of not walking into a trap, but I feel like the Patriots have seen this one coming for a long time. They just know what to do. So I got New England winning this game only because it seems like if this was a year ago, I'd give this to the Packers. But because New England's been just beat by this type of thing, you know, this style of this freewheeling, you know, high speed running around type of offense, a few times now, and the fact that Aaron Rodgers and he doesn't really even have the surrounding cast that the Chiefs and the Eagles and those types of teams do. I have to go New England here, but I just feel like it's gonna be a terrific game. And then on the flip side, you know, like in the Packers case, I don't think their defense is better than New England. I don't think, even though it is interesting that they held they held the Rams within a field goal or a score at the end of that game. I just feel like, and the Patriots are on a short week, so you have to factor that in too. That's an advantage for the Packers. Mike McCarthy against Bill Belichick. Yeah, I just don't see that one. I just don't see how the Packers could overcome that. I got the Patriots win this game, but man, it's gonna be a great game. I really think so. So I got the Patriots just because you know, I feel like they're better at defending the types of things the Packers can do. The Packers don't have the weapons that teams that have beaten the Patriots have had. And I just feel like, you know, they'll be ready to go. Like, everybody's been waiting for this game. Last game of the week, Tennessee Titans, Dallas Cowboys, both 3-4, both suck. Give me the Cowboys. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. All right, guys. That's really all I got to say. I mean, that's just other than the fact it's the Cowboys, it's another unremarkable matchup. All right, guys, what's going to do for this week's video? Hope you enjoyed this one. If you please like, comment, subscribe, everything. If you disagree, agree with any of my takes or opinions or anything, let me know in the comments down below. And other than that, until next time, that'll do for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.